Stronger than before, powered up for more. Vega Goose is back. And like I said at the end of my last video of 2014, this week we're taking a look at Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. Now let's not waste any time, let's start with what they got right. Now first and foremost, the best thing they did in this film was the Silver Surfer himself, and the CGI as a whole was much improved. Now the character of the Silver Surfer could have easily been screwed up and looked like a cartoon. However, the character design is given the respect it deserves, both in look and in the way both actors portray him. Both the man who we see on screen plus the voice actor clearly got the character, portraying him as both invincible destroyer, yet depressed wanderer. He's actually one of the only things in this movie that shows me someone involved actually picked up a comic. Now Dr. Doom is also in that list, despite the changes to his power set. Gillian McMahon clearly got the character, and plays it pitch perfect. Now it's been complained in the past that Dr. Doom in the movie seemed like a cliched villain, and that's because Victor Von Doom is a cliched villain. You have to be able to portray a mixture of insanity and genius, and McMahon does it 100%. Now finally let's talk about The Thing. This is the character they got right on. Michael Chiklis nails the character of Ben Grimm, and it's a hard character to get right. He has to be both the common man, and yet the heart of the team, and for the most part that's how he comes across. Plus the suit is fantastic, excuse the pun, as much like the Surfer, this is a character that could easily come off as comically ridiculous. That's pretty much the end of the good for this movie, so let's jump right into the bad. And that begins pretty big with the Storm siblings, starting with Sue. I don't know what comic these people were reading when they wrote Sue Storm. They took a character that is arguably one of the smartest people in the entire Marvel setting, and turned her into a vapid, almost dim-witted woman who at one point in the story is literally pissed off that the heroes are actually trying to stop the villain, as opposed to focusing on her wedding. No, I'm not kidding. She's told that 8 planets have been destroyed by whatever this thing is on Earth, and she's actually angry that the heroes are trying to, first of all, contain it, and secondly, stop it. Why? While we're on the subject of Sue, why is she the only one who can't use Johnny Storm's powers? Seriously, at one point everyone gets his powers, yet she is the only one who can't control it. Hell, Reed doesn't even break a sweat as he flies seconds after getting the power, something Johnny himself couldn't even do. Even scene where she gets the powers makes no real sense, as it isn't played for fan service
and wasted opportunity.
And yet it isn't really funny with the exception of this moment. Now the next thing that I consider bad involves Sue, but it's not necessarily about her, and that is the change to the Surfer. More importantly, the change to the reason why he decides to help humanity. You see, in the original story, the Surfer is convinced to turn on Galactus after seeing the nobility of Earthlings. He believes it's a race worth saving and one that he doesn't want to see destroyed by his master. In the movie, they decided to change that into being Sue reminds him of his previous girlfriend on his homeworld. I'm not understanding why they decided to change that, as it doesn't really do anything except for add one scene to the movie which easily could have been changed to be the other way around. Now I could rant more on this subject, but let's just move on. Let's move on to Johnny Storm. Johnny is right back to where he was at the beginning of part 1, and in this movie he'll be learning the exact same lesson he did in the first. I don't know why they went this way with the character. Johnny Storm in the comics is way more than just a rebellious asshole. Now I give Chris Evans and Jessica Alba credit. They're doing the best they can do, and I've seen both these people act better in better movies. But I feel like the writing in this one just put them into a corner. Another odd choice was to include the idea that those hit by the Surfer's powers have a power flux. Meaning, in this case, when Johnny Storm touches another superhero, they become him and take his powers, and he takes them. I have no idea why they did this, as the only thing it does is prevent the Fantastic Four themselves from taking part in the final battle. changing it instead to Johnny Storm having been powered up with all their powers versus Doctor Doom, because that's what we came to see, right? This leads to a larger issue. You only see the Fantastic Four fighting together in one scene, meaning that out of 2 movies we saw the Fantastic Four in hero mode twice. Now I forgive the first movie as it was the origin story and the team coming together was the climactic finale, but this movie should have been all Fantastic Four. Now finally we come to the worst thing in the movie, Galactus. You thought Iron Man 3 fucked over a villain. No, this movie turns one of the most complex characters Marvel has into a fucking cloud, banished through the Surfer doing a Jesus pose. Now in the story, when the Surfer turns on Galactus, Galactus first of all doesn't banish away. He's extremely furious with the Surfer and exiled him to Earth to die with his new people. And in fact it is a human begging to become a new Herald that ends up saving the Earth. In fact, they actually introduce her in the film, Johnny's love interest, who in the comics becomes Nova, the second Herald of Galactus. Now, the reason for this change was that they wanted this to be played out in the Silver Surfer movie, which was supposed to be a sequel to this one. In fact, according to people at Marvel, this was originally going to be the idea to start their cinematic universe, with Fantastic Four being the lead-in. The problem with that is if you only give someone half a movie and expect them to come back for the sequel, generally speaking your movie doesn't make a lot of money, and that's what happened here. Rise of the Silver Surfer bombed. Big time. And it ended up delaying the Marvel Cinematic Universe for many years. Overall, this movie earns a 1 out of 5. If you have ever even casually glanced over the Herald of Galactus storyline in a comic book, you're going to hate this movie with a fiery passion. That's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.